this tournament as they head through into what could be the last map of DreamHack Open.
And to make matters a little bit worse, they start on the T side of the map where they've got to get success early on and not allow Extra Salt the ability to build up a foundation. That's a hell of a start. Fang's been dinked already on the stairs, has to fall back. Good flashbangs tossed in, but OC and JT at the back of the site are ripping off heads, chewing up paiN and spitting them out. And OC's gone in for another one. At this point, they may not even get a frag for their troubles, paiN. They've been utterly forced back, and Hardjao having to watch down from ramp as he's forced away with the bomb, but there's a flank coming in. Marquee has the flank covered. Surely there's no way forward for Hardjao in this round.
You'd have to hope at least an OC continues what was his form from the last map. Not missing many shots at all, and 4 kills already in this round. And well, this is the thing. It was a broken trend when we saw the force buys back and forth. Again, I think it was in the first map that we had the stat from Elliot saying that it was 14 conversions coming out. So sure, out of 14 that was. So we'll see. Maybe they can create another blip on that radar and get themselves back into things. However, Vince, I'd be very surprised. It looked like they're going for a bomb plant.
Yeah, the classic waterfall out of apps. Flashbang before it, but Fang is in good position. He had a good read of the situation. They also had JT that was pressing up aggressively on ramp. So even though Fang got hit right in the face with a flash, JT had that on lock alongside OC. And for the second consecutive round, it is a clean sweep with the SMGs getting a ton of frags. So a lot of money already being accrued for JT and Fang.
I think the second flash, it was solid for blinding up the players on the opposite team, but it was also solid for blinding up the players on the T side. So I don't think they could see anything as they entered the site. It means that in terms of utility as well for this round, there will actually be a piece or two missing just because they can't actually afford to invest anything because they've had 0 kills. And you might be thinking, oh, Tom, the money on kills, it's really not worth much, only $300, but that is the difference between a smoke. You get a couple of kills, maybe you can get an extra Molotov, you can get an extra couple of flashbangs. It really does make a big difference, and especially already, bear in mind, we've only gone, like, what, 25 seconds? They're down to 4 smokes and 4 flashbangs.
Yeah, that's grim. Whichever way you spin it, that is very grim indeed. And they have to use some of these smokes just to allow some safe passage over the middle. So that's not even talking about executes. That is definitely a big bonus, though. JT goes hunting, goes looking, and gets caught on the cross. So information now been gathered for Extra Salt, but with over a minute left, it has an expiry date. And it's probably already expired, to be honest. Now mid is being taken control over. I believe they may have also picked up a smoke from JT's body, so that allows them to replenish the window smoke. And now they can start to take middle control, and they have options at this stage. It's still 50 seconds, so in terms of the round and AKs, it's looking pretty good for the Brazilians.
Yeah, that'd have to be something pretty special here, especially with just the weaponry that's available. Fang is going to try and hold on to the window, and maybe the time could help them out a bit. He's actually going to peek through and find a kill onto safe, and the timing couldn't work better for OC. He's now retrieved himself an extra gun, and it's all falling apart. The Brazilians were looking fantastic, and now they've got to rush onto this B site, and look at the spot from Sonic. I think they've realized there's a chance of him being around the apartments. With no one being on this site, it's an easy guess to be had. However, how do you hold on to this 2v4, especially with no extra grenades and no real control?
Yeah, Sonic's also embracing that fact they know he's there. He's going to be the chaos creator. He's going to try and run interference while the rest of his teammates push through on the market side. And instantly, Marquee rips off the head of PKL. Nekis with the AK at range runs out of bullets. Looks to his teammates. They exchange the fist bumps, but it doesn't stop the fact that they are going to be 3-0 down. The bomb plant, nice and all, but when you come into the round and you take JT down right off the bat there, Tom, you have a vast firepower advantage. The fact that they have not converted that and how scrappy and how sloppy that looked, we're just getting picked off one by one, does not bode well early on for paiN Gaming at all.
Yeah, that looked really rough. And you also have to think about the upgrades that have just come through. Like, you're now looking at full rifles on the side of Extra Salt, and they've got full utility, and they have enough to buy in the next round. That is as bad as it gets for what is an early start into this map. Now, we are going to see the T side invest back in, but Vince, they've got 1 smoke after 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. You'd think that a couple players would dip down to Galils, right? So you'd have 3 or maybe 4 smokes. Full AKs. I mean, I don't want to knock their confidence. It's great that they still have supreme confidence that they can outtrade their opposition, but this is going to have to do a lot with very little. And I feel like for paiN to win this round, honestly, it's going to require some pretty big overlaps or mistakes from Extra Salt. Maybe outmaneuvering themselves or peeking when they shouldn't be. But paiN have to do so much here. They still haven't used the smoke. They are getting mid control, so that's really not too bad. They could have maybe allowed them safe passage up towards Catwalk, and no one's even watching it from mid or from A side, so it looks like they may get away with this.
I think Marky has spotted the flashbang's good, but he's going to be forced into a pretty awkward position. Already, OC's going to be dropped elsewhere as well, so even the rotation's going to be a little bit rough. They're going to need Marky to do some serious work on this site, and he's slowly being surrounded. Don't see any way out of this, and he only finds one. Seemingly, the grenades are not going to be an issue for paiN, as they managed to win this round almost flawlessly. Only PKO was dropped right at the end, and they managed to pick Extra Salt apart.
Yeah, the thing is with that, as I mentioned at the time, that yes, well done, paiN. That's an impressive execute at the end, and you did what you needed to on the side. But that was in large part because Extra Salt had no one in window. They had no AWPs in play, which will be remedied and rectified, I'm sure, for this next round. They had no one in connector. They had no one catwalk. So you've basically walked up middle. You've got a timing play onto the site. You got a bit fortunate with that timing, and you've made the most of that potential timing window. That is not a round, Tom, that I can look at and say that paiN Gaming can just emulate that time after time and get success. So yes, you've got yourself a round, that's excellent. But once Extra Salt make the adjustments, what do paiN have in store?
Well, at least in this round, they will have a proper purchase. So we spoke about the one smoke in the last round. They've got pretty much everything here. Now Sonic and OC are going to be straight in with that double AWP setup. It was something that was definitely tough to break down when it fully got going. OC, though, misses his shot, and that leaves Fang out almost on his own. He loses his life in an early pick, and again, you speak about the conversions of paiN. They seem to do quite well when they get themselves an advantage. I almost feel like there has to be a quick response from Extra Salt. Otherwise, we'll see them fall back into this slow style of play and just try and manipulate the rotations of Extra Salt.
Oh, it's a big peak, though. Flashing from OC, and JT follows it up. He's been really getting in amongst the frags. He can see the barrel of the gun. It's going to bait him out into the open, and Hard Chow clears him. He wasn't expecting two players in underpass. And because he got the kill at top mid, he felt compelled and comfortable to just stay in that spot and wait for that player under window to peek him. That second underpass player was so vital for paiN Gaming. And now with the player advantage, Marky decides to push in. This is a really important passage of play, and he's got it done. This puts paiN Gaming on the back foot. They're going to have to hit A as a result of that kill.
Oh, the timing in this round has been so weird. OC has looked away from the connector just as a player has pushed it. Now he's going to get peeked as well. Teammate not watching anything, I think looking towards CT, in fact. It just looks so disjointed at the moment from Extra Salt. The communication just isn't quite there.
"17 seconds, the plant is starting to go down. Some damage and the finished off frag from Marky. So even though it's post-plant, 2v2, Bigazera, he's had some big performances today. Maybe called upon again, and Sonic caught in transition. The smoke down on connector means that Marky has to focus his attention towards window. Maybe faking that out, especially now that the smoke is cleared. They did have a player towards window, that's safe. But the time is dwindling. Marky has the kit, but no longer has a head. And paiN Gaming, they'll pick up 2 on the bounce.
I have to say, a lot of the plays in this round from Extra Salt just seemed really disjointed. Like, this, I don't really know how it happens, like, with just OC completely in the open. I don't know if he thought he had cover from somewhere, but it was just individual duels, and I feel like that's the last thing you want to do with paiN. You want to try and have that team synergy to hold down the fort, and instead, well, maybe you could call it timing, but it just looked like they got completely picked apart. And well, that's been the problem with both the rounds they've lost, if anything. Now looking at the CT side with not enough to invest, so we're just going to have a push all the way up to the top of mid, and Safe is ready and waiting with his AWP. A missed shot, and Nekkis actually goes down. Safe just opting, okay, let's just not allow them any further. I don't want to risk giving up this AWP. The bomb's not far away either. So let's try and slow this down.
They slowed it down, but a really nice run boost as well allows them to actually cross to get the AK. But this is where everything should come tumbling down, and Safe is padding his stats. He's picked up the frag, and he's been tagged down to 22. The biggest error is there to watch his back. AK will have him on the cross if Safe doesn't pick them off first, which indeed he will. Post plant now in effect. Marky wants to get his hands on the AK, but greed is not always good. paiN Gaming with 3 on the bounce, but Extra Salt, they'll be coming back in with a buy.
This is where we can see OC's AWP once again, which has definitely been a defining factor thus far. Although he did get the majority of his kills in the pistol. And on the other side, interesting. PKL's actually got it. I wonder if that's based off spawn? It doesn't look like it. Nekkers is going to be the first one through. I guess they just have a plan for this round, because we normally talk about Safe as the one to man that AWP. Now for the T side at least, it looks like the main plan is to try and find something across middle. A little bit of a probe through the underpass, and a patient Big Wazera just waiting, because they have had a few players looking to try and wrap around, JT most notably. And in rounds like this where utility isn't ideal, you can kind of expect them to get a little bit more aggressive.
Fang's position certainly is aggressive, but as he gets flashed, he just holds his angle. Sonic up in the window, anticipating this push coming in, spots Hard Shower, clear kill. The call will probably come through as he didn't hear any footsteps up on the bench, that there was a second player around underpass, so they can hold in position and look to fire down on Safe. We're still in the same location. Molly up and over into window, gets peeked from Fang in connector, but they both just pass by one another. The bulk of the T's, though, have turned their attention over onto the B site, where Marky is waiting for them.
Fang's going to find a second pick, but again, they go towards B. And Marky's had a bit of a rough time. He's got the support of OC, though, who has not been missing, and the 1-2 punch. Peak. Okay, Marky. Maybe a little bit aggressive, but his opponent has been tagged low, and from losing rounds to gaps in their defense to a flawless one, now goes back onto paiN to try and have a response. So luckily, Vince, they do have plenty of cash in the bank.
Yeah, biggest error was Mr. Moneybags. He actually drops one to Nekkis, who was on 1,400 or thereabouts. So they can deplete the funds one more time. You can see the effect it has, though. Everyone barring PKL is down to just peanuts as a result of this purchase. So, while they did have money, that won't last for too much longer if Extra Salt can double up and get some consistent, consecutive rounds in play. Hajao already into the apps, a player that Maui wanted to see more from, but I think that was more on the CT side with that secondary open play. As the flash precedes a peek from Safe, he goes out wide. They both miss each other. OC, the way he was playing on train, I'd expect him to land that shot every day of the week. He at least avenged JT's life and takes down Nekkis before Sonic puts in the secondary AWP. And OC rummages back towards the B site, shuts down Hard Zhao, and PKL's not long afterwards. So Safe is all alone, 1-on-3s, throw to smoke, he's been tagged. And surely no hope to get anything done at this point. Pretty much has to run through the smoke, and OC's there with the USP.
It's almost like he missed that first one just to bait you, Vince, because from then onwards, everything else was perfect. A re-peek in, a risky one at that, a catch from Sonic as well, and, well, we spoke about the idea of this double AWP setup throughout the series, even going all the way back to Inferno, and you can kind of see the reasons why. Like, both players performing. Sonic a little bit quiet thus far, but we can expect more from him going forward. And now, again, we go back to paiN just having absolutely nothing. They go for the fast boost up, the silent one at that. Gives a little bit of extra space to Sonic, but this is one of those rounds where you really don't want to see him getting too aggressive, especially when you look at what's in play. They have a MAC-10, have themselves a Tech-9, and well, a lot of them now have half HP, because that grenade did a ridiculous amount of damage.
There's another one behind it as well. If Marky doesn't shut them all down beforehand, the nade may have missed. It's Mark. But Hard Zhao's Tech-9 won't. There's the extra grenade that we were waiting for, and Fang cleans them up alongside OC. So only Marky goes down. They can easily replenish that gun. 6-3 now the score, but paiN Gaming, who dipped out of a full purchase last round, will be coming through with AKs. It will be at the cost of an AWP. And again, I don't want to just bash on Safe. If anything, it's a compliment to how well he played earlier on in the tournament. I don't think we've quite seen prime Safe today. Certainly not on this T side.
Yeah, for sure. I think across the whole series, he's not been the man we wanted him to be if we were going to see paiN win this one. As you said, you can't put it all down to him, but some of the impact he had in the series versus Liquid and prior to that was just off the charts. Well, now, maybe a team knowing him a little bit better than Team Liquid did. Sonic going to try and control connector, and this time they do have a player waiting in the form of paiN to try and deny any pressure out from Palace. It does, however, seem that the T's again are just trying to garner space around mid. JT, this push has been attempted multiple times, but it's been failed the equal amount. We'll see if he gets anything this time. He's got very, very far, and this is giving a lot of information over to his team of the direction they're likely to be going. The only problem is Hardzao. Look at his spot.
Oh, it's just so brutal, isn't it? As you said, Tom, even if JT had just died, I honestly still think that push was 100% worthwhile because it allows them to stack the sites that little bit stronger. The bomb's now been spilled down. 30 seconds to go. They have to go up and pick up the bomb first. But biggest error, taking off the head of paiN. That could put them back into this round before Sonic pounces with one, misses the second shot, still need to retrieve the bomb. It's out in the open, but the smoke on Catwalk affords Hardzao safe passage. Also replenishing the smoke on Connector, but Marquis will deny him on the approach. And Big Azera has decisions to make. Realizes he doesn't have time to go back and pick up the bomb, so he's going to hunt for kills instead. At least he died before the end of time, though, so he doesn't get completely money screwed. But when you look at the overall finances over on paiN, it's still looking pretty grim.
Yeah, I think it was more the realization that he probably could run, get the bomb planted, but it was more just the fact that Sonic was never going to allow that to happen. Yeah. So it was more just, okay, if I can do some damage, if I can get rid of an AWP or save one, more importantly, maybe it gives us something into the next round. But yeah, these double AWPs have just been running riot. We're seeing still OC 15-3 at the moment. Why is this?
Why have you brought up Nickelback, Elliot? What? Are you all right, mate? I know it's late, but dude.
That does make me feel old, though. I can't imagine how you feel.
Ancient, mate. Just straight up ancient.
Oh, God. I'm pretty sure when you were born, they were listening to Mozart, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. He was actually like live gigging at that time, touring.
Oh, God. Oh, nice start from Neckers, at least. He will remove one head of paiN. It's been on the brunt of a few of these peaks. Now, JT has been caught an awful lot of times. It makes me very wary watching him play. Like, he takes a lot of risks for the team. A lot of the time it is just to give over information, but in these sort of rounds, you don't want to be giving up anything. You don't want to let paiN get one of these guns. Even though we're looking at Extra Salt firmly in the lead at the moment, you have to put the context of the last couple of maps. We saw an 8-2 lead taken for paiN on map 1. They lose map 1. We saw a, 12-5 lead for Extra Salt that ended up 13-13 on map 2. So you can't give anything over. Otherwise, your opponent might end up bringing things back. A rifle retrieve for PKL. He's had a bit of a quiet map. Same as the last one, in fact. Can he make this any more costly? No. Actually, wait, he gets OC. I didn't even see that.
It's a hell of a shot with the M4, yeah. Unfortunately, it ended on 7 kills last map. It's not faring too much better at the moment. Some nice kills from paiN. We're seeing again, never really doubted their skill level individually. It's been more the teamwork and following each other up that's been a consistent issue. An Extra Salt already with 8 rounds. Now, I assume if we have like these explosive rounds on Train, and to be fair, all of their T-sides so far in the tournament, that you're expecting on Mirage T-side, they're going to have a fair few aces up their sleeves. So I don't think we're going to see a slower pace from Extra Salt when the roles are reversed. So for me, paiN, they've got to be getting more rounds. That's an exquisite flash. Perfect flashbang. JT never stood a chance, but OC has already put up 17 kills, 123 ADR. The flash barely affects him. They line up, and he nearly just shinned PKL. through his first teammate. Sonic in the meanwhile puts up that second AWP, and although there's a lot of damage down to Safe, he does at least hold on for the kill. 2v2 suddenly becomes a 2v1, but Hardshell's position they will have no idea about. He should get the drop onto Marky. He's waiting for that second player to show himself. Now goes in, and the spray is good. And those are the kind of plays that paiN Gaming need to rally behind.
Yeah, huge 4K for them here. And also, you look at the money on the other side. A double AWP setup's pretty expensive. The one that was dropped in the previous round actually now coming back to bite them a little bit. And while OC does well, but it seemed just a bit of a cluster round where everybody seemed to be a bit confused as to where the other players were. Pushes that were just risky. Even at the end, before the 1v2 happened, it was just a bit of confusion. OC, though, they've invested a lot into him in this round, and he goes down. A one and done. That's the AWP gone. Hardshell dropping another one, although he has no idea that Sonic's still here. He's trying to watch onto short, but they're so close. One of them's going to get a kill here for sure.
Sonic is playing this perfectly. He knows their key to win this is he has to be patient. He was expecting a second player to come through apps. Didn't anticipate that Hardshell would jump through the window first. But the bomb's been dropped down at the top of apps. This is going to take them a while to go back up there and get it. So it's so important that Neck is connected to headshot. Otherwise, maybe Extra Salt could have wiggled their way back onto the site and caught them by surprise. The round will fall underway of the Brazilians. 2 in a row. And they're at least posting up. Bit of pride here. Plus, you look at the economy, actually, of Extra Salt, and this should be a golden ticket to potentially an 8-7 half after all.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that Fang doesn't wait there for JT to come with him. Like, even if he does manage to get a kill, like, you're betting on some serious mistakes from paiN to just allow that kill to come back in for him trying to basically 1v3 on the site. So it gives up the round, although it was a pretty rough spot to be in anyway. And while financially, things are a little bit rougher. It seems to be every single time Safe is getting pushed by these pistols. Marky has somehow managed to win the battle versus Neckers. And now Safe goes down. Not like this. Marky's got an AK as well. We know what this man can do. PKL, he's cleaning things up, however. And that AK has since been dropped to the deck. OC can do no more. But look at the HP. This very easily could have been a round to Extra Salt.
Yeah, I thought it was, Tom, honestly. I had my head in my hands. I'm just looking at paiN and thinking, how are you possibly going to let this one slip at such an important moment in the grand finals? But they held on. It was a nice try from Extra Salt, and rounds like that, they're going to build your confidence as well, by the way. Like, you start landing some USP headshots, you know how close you were to breaking paiN in a round that should never, ever even be remotely close. Definitely going to build up that good feeling. No AWPs, though. Will sour the mood a little bit. And no kits on top of it, but full M4s in play for the CTs.
The AWPs have been the difference maker in a lot of rounds, and in fact, it's the Ts that have 2 in this scenario. Hardshell picking up the second. I do wonder if this could come back to bite them a little bit, or maybe if he has a spare AK dropped somewhere to switch things up if they desire. Now, again, I mentioned it earlier. This has started to look like that same comeback once again. An 8-3 scoreline. 3 in a row now for paiN. And if they bring this back to 8-7, I wouldn't be the one to doubt them here. The real issue is, can they get this round? Now, JT, they have known that he likes to push this ramp. It has happened so many times throughout. And considering he's one of the only defenders on this A site, he needs to get a kill. The worry, though, is that Neckers, he does have the bomb, so they can't afford to lose this duel.
And they're flashing above him. They're not really dealing with JT, but he misses his chance. There was an opportunity to get a couple, to get them back into this round. Instead, though, PKL's been finished off by OC. There's good smoke's been deployed. As 17 seconds comes up on the clock, Fan tries to speculatively shoot through the smoke, but he can't deny the bomb plant. So post plant's in effect. 2 of the 3 are in window, and Fang is already out on jungle side towards the staircase. Utility is lacking on both teams, but a lot of damage is being put down onto Safe. Not sure if they even saw him, if it was just a general angle where most players will occupy in post plants. Bigazera now at the back of the site, looking good to fend off the aggression, and it very well could be the 8-7 scoreline. OC is trying his best, but 8-7 will be the score. We've been here multiple times before. Can paiN finally bring one back and take us into a fourth map? Find out after this break.
I want you every night, laying your funky stuff. I just get the hearts for you. I can't get enough. Play me your funky horn, babe. Show me how your jazz song goes. 8 to the bar, 12 to the bar. Show me everything you know. If you got the rhythm right, keep it up all night. Take it away, take it away, take it away. If you got the rhythm right, keep it up all night. Take it away, take it away, take it away. If you got the rhythm right, keep it up all night. Take it away, take it away.
Crazy things go through your head, and now you think there's one instead that you would rather spend your time while looking for your youth. You can chase your wildest dreams while working on those crazy schemes, but someday you will have to face the truth. You know it's me, that I won't ever leave your side, 'cause love is something I can't hide, so go and see. You'll never find another love like mine. This has happened all before, and love to you is just a door. You will try to walk away with nothing left to lose. Go ahead and pack your bags and see how long this one will last. Someday you will have to face the truth. You know it's me, that I won't ever leave your side, 'cause love is something I can't hide, so go and see. You'll never find another love like mine. Freedom is the choice you make, and losing is the chance you take. That I will always wait for you to catch you when you're through. This might be the final time, and nothing may be what you find, and someday you will have to face the truth. You'll never find another love like mine. There is not another love like mine.
World knocks us down, we get back up. A revolution is on the way. If it's a fight you want.
Well, it was, again, a lead for Extra Salt that looked like it could be them running away with the map, but paiN Gaming are not done just yet. They brought things back to an 8-7 scoreline and now head into that CT side. And it's going to be a CZ raid boss for Hardzao, so we'll see what he can do there. He's going to be put under pressure. It seems like he might be. A few fake smokes being thrown in, a P250 for OC as he tries to push into the A site. And by the looks of it, they might be looking to wrap around to join him. The problem is he's gone down this time without a single kill.
Understand why you want to put everything behind him the way he's been playing. 21 kills coming into this half. But with his loss of life, the strat may be dashed against the rocks. PKL catching them in a bit of chaos. 2, make it 3 alongside Nekis. And it seems they've done a beautiful job of repelling the initial charge. Very reminiscent to the first pistol round, where Extra Salt absolutely batted paiN Gaming. They've returned the favor, Tom.
Yeah, and as we brought up many a time, we haven't seen too many force buy victories in these second rounds. It is looking like we are going to get a purchase here. Extra Salt are going to go in. And they're going to have themselves the pistols alongside a pretty decent amount of utility. So we'll see what they can get done with it.
Toes singed on safe. Sound cue also given across that at least one player may be up close. This could actually bait Nekis off. But they don't have a great deal to play up against him. And they just peek one by one. Fang goes in first. No counter frag is available. 1 kills came in from Sonic, and now Nekis needs to tread very lightly because he's the only defender on A site, and Sonic's taken his head off, punctured him down. They got a smoke for the CT side. PKL's coming up, but they actually haven't thrown it on CT just yet. Now it's going to come up, so that will afford them safe passage post-plant. But with the player already low, with the MP9 in his hands and PKL low, this is anybody's round. Hardjow, though, good spray into Sonic. OC taking the initiative, trying to get up close and bridge the gap with the Tech 9. He's effectively throwing and rolling the dice that no one will be pushing in from connector or jungle for the time being, and he will get caught momentarily from the backside, and it's Big Azera that puts him to rest. It's understandable why he'd gamble in, though. When you're basically just against full-on buys, you've only got pistols, you kind of have to go for that Hail Mary play, so I don't blame him for it at all. It's close, though, Tom. paiN cannot feel very comfortable about what just happened at all.
Well, the other thing now as well is, okay, you get it down to 9 HP, 2 players surviving. Do you go again? It seems like Extra Salt are actually going to just tap out and just go, okay, we can just buy up some pistols with the extra money and see what we can do with that. But I wouldn't have blamed them if they went in with AKs here. And I think if you look at the purchase that's come up for paiN, I think they might be expecting something of that sort. So look at this from Sonic, though. Straight through the Molotov. He's going to hit the 1-dig as well. Can he escape? The answer is no. But even still, any damage they do in this round is huge.
Oh, it's just mammoth. They've got another buy coming regardless. Nekis, though, decent frag. He's got 2 in the round so far. The remainder of Extra Salt are in middle, so they can't really capitalize on the momentary weakness over on A site. But yeah, it's just all about damage. How much can they inflict onto paiN Gaming? They're not expecting to come away with this round. Can they dip down a couple of these players to low economy, maybe stall and stagnate the economy enough so that an AWP won't be around the corner anytime soon? Gives them a big advantage going into that next rifle round. And paiN will realize that too. They can't afford to get too aggressive about this. They don't have a lot of utility themselves. Only 1 player has a smoke and an incendiary, and they're both in the hands of Big Azera. So if he goes down, that's a lot of the utility that's centralized with him. But Hardjow has locked down the B side of the map.
That's down to paiN and OC again to try and just make this costly. They'll have a buy in the next round no matter what. They invested just a bit into Deagles. Nice shot from paiN. He spots the second, but takes a pretty severe tag in response. And OC won't get anything more. 2 players dropped at least. It will force a couple of rebuys, but now we have to see Extra Salt come back into things, because though they started again very, very strong, it has now been, what, 7 rounds in a row for the side of paiN?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, 8-3 to 10-8. They could afford an AWP after all. It was dropped by Hardjow, who's now down to $0. There's an AWP on OC. Of course there is. He was an absolute mammoth on that first half with it. He's already been naded down though and mollied, so he's in a bit of an awkward spot, and he's not quite alone. JT's just behind him, but he's looking for a different angle of aggression, looking towards window. They do have a PKL up there, but I doubt he will peak with just the M4.
Some early utility expended by both sides, and paiN now looking to try and lurk through A. It seems like that will be their final place of attack, with the full rotation coming in from Marky as well, but there's still 3 players here. And already, paiN, he goes a bit early. No utility, nothing thrown in, just trying to face off against the AWP, and he gets absolutely nothing for it.
Sonic may be a bit too premature with that shot. There's a player down to his left who I'm sure is going to peek into him. Decent damage to PKL, and OC has broken the curse for Extra Salt in the round with 1. JT right behind it. Safe now and more pressure, but does come out swinging with the first frag. Change the attention. That flick is perfect. And the smoke that was tossed in by the T's actually allows him to escape, and then he goes back in for more. Excellent hold from Safe. A 4K to his name. We're finally starting to see what the guy's capable of.
Yeah, that was a big round. An aggressive one at that. Taking the first pick, but then going in for a little bit more. And just shutting down any chances they had of winning this round. Fantastic stuff from Safe. In fact, ends up with a quad kill. And now we look back to what's left on Extra Salt, and not capitalizing off any of the rounds, the opportunities that they've had. They're going to have to go back to pistols once again, but it's starting that streak of rounds again for paiN. The problem is, thus far in this series, they've had multiple leads that they've let slip away. This will probably be the most heartbreaking of the lot. And while Hardshell about to come under some serious pressure, luckily he's got his buddy Bigazera to hold the fort down alongside him.
His buddy has been picked off though, and that means that Hardshell has to come out with some more kills. He goes in with 2, OC with a Deagle and an M4 by his side. 2 players to find and frag. Post plant will be coming up. There's no Kevlar for OC. Does that make him a little bit more apprehensive about taking the M4? Perhaps not, and he's already put down the first frag. He's already got a perfect read of the situation that the last player will be coming through from the market, but the USB headshot is delivered swiftly, and paiN pick up a 12th, but it's another round, Tom. That's at great cost.
That literally had to be like an instant USP tap for him to stand a chance. Otherwise, he gets sprayed down. You even see OC sit back in his chair afterwards because he knows how close that was. And that's been the issue. They're getting super close in all of these rounds, but they're not winning any of them. The economy of the CT side is constantly taking a hit. And again, we're talking about the fact that if they finally win one, they'll likely get themselves right back into things. In fact, there may even be a force on the other side.
Yeah, precisely. One round could suddenly become several rounds, and that's what Extra Salt have got to hold on to. Fang, tantalizingly close, sees the barrel. Easy wall bang onto Hardshell, but PKL anticipates that jump was forthcoming, and he can just get a free trade up to the AK.
Still looks like they want to pressure here. Marky has a bit of support, but Bigazera is going to clear that up. And JT, I don't know if he can take the risk. Again, it's starting to look disjointed from the T side. Desperate to capitalize. What is that from Nekiz? A fadeaway headshot. The interesting thing is Sonic, though. He's gaining so much ground. He gets tagged up, though, and eventually gets away with things. But Bigazera is so quick to trade. And JT, he's almost been on a yo-yo in this round. Back and forth he goes, eventually to his doom. 3 rounds now for paiN. Again, after being so far behind, the streak is just carrying on.
If they convert from this point, I have got so much respect. I mean, I already had tons of respect for paiN, but I think it just reaffirms that respect. The tenacity to go 2-0 behind, have tons of comebacks, just fall a few rounds tantalizingly close and short of the mark, to then come out Mirage, back from an 8-3 deficit when everybody is probably thinking it's going to be a 3-0 clean sweep. This would be a phenomenal comeback. Didn't kill OC or Sonic on train, and both killed him 5 times. Yep, that's pretty grim. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty grim.
Yeah, he's been better in this map, but then again, the whole squad has. I think it's only been sort of OC keeping things afloat in that first half, and it's not that he's now playing poorly. It's just there's not really as much opportunities for him on this T side. AWP had his moment or two trying to win out the clutch, but as said, they've lost so many of these clutches now, so many opportunities for them to take home a round, and we wonder if it's starting to get the better of them here. Need a streak slightly less than what we've seen from the side of paiN, but with peaks like this, they're just handing opening kills. It's individual fight. We've not seen any real executions coming out from the side of Extra Salt, except, of course, when they have pistols. Then they go for all these all-in plays that come very, very close. Then back with the rifles again. It's just individual plays.
Which is surprising to me, because on train, as Maui coined it, the Extra Salt default that they ran for so many times was this explosive set play that we saw them go for over and over and over again. It was like an A-hit simulator, basically. So it is surprising to me that we haven't seen more executes from Extra Salt, and now they're playing right into the hands of the Brazilians. We know that individually they're a very skilled bunch of players. You go in one by one, you're probably going to go out one by one. Here is the crossfire. PKL gets spotted by 2. The fact he gets 1 kill is huge, but now his teammates are falling around him. Maybe a chance for Extra Salt to start that comeback track right here, right now. Hardshell's had a very good performance on 20 kills. But only a flash to his name. Full on HP, but post-plant with both the T's clumped together. This is a rough ask. The flash will come out. Doesn't really help him at all. Doesn't affect either of the ramp plays. And he's checking his angles, he's doing his due diligence, but already so much of that fuse is ticked away that I think he just goes to save. So Extra Salt somewhat steal away the round, Tom, because to me it just felt like it was going to be more of the same. And then suddenly we had two massive impact frags from both Fang and OC.
Yeah, OC, of course, a continuation, and Fang, well, if he steps up now, that could be the game changer. And they finally stopped it. That was 10 rounds in a row. 10 in a row. Even a little team damage coming in, but solid entries into the site and a good cleanup from OC in the end. But it's definitely not comfortable. And then that's what we were expecting. As I said, 8-3 up for the side of Extra Salt. And then just a ridiculous streak of rounds. And the purchase coming in right now from paiN, it's not a great one. The thing that's interesting is they haven't gone for broke. But what it means is going into the next round, it's still going to be a little bit rough. Like, Big Ozera won't have much. And Hardzao already losing his life. This is the start that they wanted on Extra Salt.
A way back forward, perhaps. The door has been left slightly ajar. But do they have the fortitude, the skill, the tactics, and the leadership to kick that door wide open? PKL tagged by a grenade, but it's minimal damage, and the smoke actually allows him a passage forward to have a quick fire shot on towards Sonic and takes his head off. It's that cost of his own HP as well, though. He's down to 17, and a 2v4, it feels like more of a drop in the bucket than anything else, but maybe affords him an opportunity to come back in and take another weapon away. Extra Salt will be finding out very shortly that A site is completely barren of any CTs, and that 9-round mark should very well move to 10.
I think they're going to get the gun. That's the plan. Bring the AK into the next round. As said, financially, they're in a bit of an awkward spot. But if they can take an extra rifle, or maybe even two, that would be huge. They are going to bring the second player through. Neck is actually going for the peak. Is going to drop another member. He's kind of screwed his teammate a little bit there. just throws the... Go fetch. Go get it. But luckily, they are able to retrieve both. So this is a hugely successful round. You may look at it in isolation and think, okay, well, Extra sort of got their 10th, but they basically secured themselves a bye for the next round.
Absolutely. And an AK, which obviously is a massive bonus to any CT's arsenal of weaponry. That is definitely a successful round for paiN Gaming, all things considered. Extra Salt, though, will be content that they've got their 10th round finally, and they can build up that money a little bit. But they will be coming up against paiN Gaming with likely an AWP. PKL can drop that across to safe. I don't see why he wouldn't pick that one up for his teammates. And then they can drop across a rifle from Nekis towards Big Ozera, perhaps, and get that decent purchase in effect.
Oh, 13-10. The AWP back into Safe's hands. Definitely a good sign, although we're still yet to see the star take over the show. Hardzao and Big Ozera, I guess along with Nekis as well, but have all been looking good, whereas on the other side, we've mainly focused on OC, 26-14. Now for the T's in this round, underpass control, a bit of placement in top mid, and maybe the potential to try and split into B just by where the bomb currently lurks. Again, Marky is going to go for this push. He has lost this duel so many times now. I do wonder if it's going to be the same again, and it looks like it will be, unless JT can save him. He's on 3 HP. I am a bit perplexed. And Sonic, how has he managed to get through the window? That's a huge mistake. There's even a player through the ladder room. So the fact he's managed to get through there without anybody spotting is huge. And Fang, that's ridiculous. A turnaround headshot, leaving Safe alone. This has been a fall apart round for paiN, and I honestly don't know how it happened.
But Hardzao took so long to not even kill Marky, but tag him down to 3. I think Safe may be getting fragged here. Somehow kills Marky. Fair enough. But I think he took so long to kill him. That secondary player that was around Market was drawn in to help him. He was worried he was about to get overran. And in doing so, Sonic just pushes straight out of Murder Hole, round the back of him. So that one mistake has so many repercussions. That domino effect starts to really get ticked down. And so Extra Salt, some just ruthless aggression has yielded so much. Now, fortunately for paiN, they've got the AWP in their hands. And Safe will hold on to that. You know, you did touch on OC before. in 3 maps, and obviously we're not done here just yet. We may be far from over on Mirage. He's got about 75 kills. The guy has just been an absolute revelation. He's just been unbelievable today.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe he'll get picked up by someone like Cloud9. Oh, again, pistols alongside the AWP of Safe. I think he's due a round. He's due one where he takes over. We saw a nice little quad kill earlier on to bring his team through. Now, they've left him as the solo B-hold. They've set him up there initially. But it seems like Extrasort are actually going to be pushing into the stack site. Now, they've got a lot of utility, so I'll be a bit disappointed if they don't manage to at least get through this round. See how much damage can actually be done by the pistols, but thus far, it's not going so well. They are going to rotate in the AWP, but Safe, it's just not worth the risk. Hardzout does manage to pick off one. That's JT dropped, but eventually it gets into an afterplant position that really shouldn't be possible.
No, I think, honestly, right now, you just pull back and save the AK and the AWP. You don't have any kits between the 3 players, no real utility, so I'm surprised that they were even lurking around as long as they were. Because Zera is way more expendable. He just has a deagle, so can maybe take a weapon away and potentially save an extra rifle, and another AK would be fantastic take out of the round. But obviously, their main commitment and priority at this stage is saving the other 2 weapons. Extrasort, it's not like their money is fully stabilized on Mark. The rest of the players, to be fair, are actually pretty well off. But it's not worth chasing down the players and potentially gift wrapping another AK across to them. For me, though, you know, we've been talking a lot about OC for obvious reasons. He's been outstanding. But I think Fang in this last 4 or 5 rounds has really woken up. He had a very poor first half, a very poor start to the second half. This last 4 or 5 rounds, man, he has been a massive difference maker. He's got a lot of entries, a lot of impactful frags.
And I think being such a young player as well, that extra boost in confidence is going to make all the world of difference. He was taking some fairly risky plays earlier, but the success rate was incredibly low. Marky, his success rate at this peak has failed most times. I think Hardzout has pretty much had his number, except in the last round where he managed to shoot a full clip into the man. Now going peeking though, Marky finally gets the battle won, and Big Azera, there's no chance for him here. It took a long time for Marky, well, excuse the pun, to get off the mark. But this time, he's managed to bring it through. And the remaining players, Vince, they've just got a save. So after a streak of 10 rounds, paiN again. Like, what goes on? Do they just hit 13 and then just run out of gas?
I've got to give them some tough love here, Tom. That round is unforgivable. You have the player that's watching from car with no secondary player watching into apps, spraying through the wooden panels towards the kitchen. So what Marky does is he waits to hear the reload and then pushes out and just gets a free kill. And that's the round done. Why is the player on car not watching apps if you don't have a secondary player watching there? And why is he the one spraying the panels? It makes no sense at all to me. That just cost them the round. It cost them everything, potentially. It's this here. You see he's reloading, he's stuck. Marky just runs straight out, double kill, easy peasy, thank you very much.
And I think the surprising thing as well is it's not even like Marky hasn't tried that maybe even 4 times. Like it's been the most common play of Extrasort so far in this entire half. And the fact is, as I was mentioning, it's failed the majority of the time. So yeah, it is looking rough now for paiN. They've taken a tactical pause. We've seen this in the last map. They had a streak of rounds, brought them back from a horrible start, and then they end up losing. It is looking like we might get more of the same.
On the balance, potentially a 3-0 clean sweep to Extrasort. paiN Gaming, Nekis in particular, talked about how Extrasort has been their kryptonite, always had their number. They've had their chances, they've had their opportunities, and maybe that last round, realizing they took their eye off the ball, has been the wake-up call they were looking for. But OC puts Safe to sleep again. Just peeks out wide of Palace, shuts him down with authority. And now look at how much pressure that puts on Nekis. He's the last man on A, and he has to take a really awkward up-close engagement, knowing he could get pushed from ramp at any second.
I think he's made the realization, and this time he's just not quite clinical enough. The push from JT as well is going to put pressure elsewhere as they look to wrap into this site. Nice work from Bigazera, though. He looks to turn things back. Marky's desperately low. They've got a smoke for the cross, but Hardjow's still watching from CT. Gonna try and maybe bait him out a little bit, but there's a lot of damage being done. I feel like OC is gonna have to go pretty big here, but he's waiting. He's holding on to CT. The problem at the moment is they don't have any control, and you can see Fang realizing that is going to try and wrap back around. Good shot from Hardzow will start things off in this retake as it comes down to just 2 players to try and hold. Another gets connected, and Fang has got to get his running shoes on. They're going to expect this, though. Surely, never mind. They line up. He almost manages to get 2, but the problem is now he's stuck in the mud. They know exactly where he is. He lands the first and the second as well. What a play from Fang to bring them back in this round.
Beautiful plays from Fang, really coming alive in this last 5 or 6 rounds, and he could be the difference maker. Yes, OC is going to get most of the plaudits, and that's the reason why he has been phenomenal on the AWP, but Fang has been such a key, integral supporting cast member, and this clutch could be the back-breaking moment. Yes, paiN have got finances to buy again, but no AWP, MP9, 1 kit, and lack of utility. And more importantly, if that last round hasn't shattered their confidence, then I'm not even sure they're human. How do you get unaffected by losing a round like that at this stage? They do have a player in the smoke which is pushing up. That's Bigazera. Maybe he can get the drop onto JT. He should, and he does. He can trade up that now to the AK. That's an excellent start for the Brazilians, but they need to build on this, and Hardjow has been destroyed.
Oh, saves MP9. It's nailed one. The flashbang's not bad, and Bigazera, try as he might, is going to end up getting traded. Sonic's found another one. It's left onto Nekis. Another clutch situation, but the shots are being missed, and he's got to try and find something here. The wraparound just not being found by either player, and it's eventually OC to shut it down. I think the realization starting to come in, the frustration on their faces, and Vince, they've got to try and force buy once again.
Oh, the economy is going to be so brutal. It's going to be so difficult to see how they bounce back from this one. MP9, UMP for mass. Extra salt going from strength to strength. And whereas last time Bigazera got the drop in the smoke, there is no aggressive player pushing in. They're trying to get ramp control, but Extra Salt aren't interested in that area of the map. Maybe paiN can push a player around the back of them and repeat the same strat that Extra Salt were going for with JT. I think they may start to push PKL behind the back.
Yeah, with no aggression into mid, B being watched by Marky, you have to feel like Extra Salt should have a decent idea that there has to be some control being battled for, especially in a round like this. That's the one thing you've got to give credit to paiN. They have been trying to switch things up. They've been trying to find a way to shut this squad down. But over the last few rounds, it just seems like the stars of Extra Salt have aligned at the perfect moment. OC is going to get boosted up. He lands the shot, but doesn't quite get the kill. Hardzow could be everything here, though, Vince, as he's in the smoke.
He is the ace up the sleeve, the difference maker, and he is spraying down all 3. That should be the round that goes with him. Maybe we're not done just yet, but OC is still in with a chance. He sees the barrel of the gun. He knows exactly what Hardjow is, but it's all about the other players. And he needs his secondary player of Fang to make a move or do something. But he was slowly making a move through Murder Hole, too little too late. Safe around the corner, has a good idea about it, but he comes out second best. And paiN, they do survive. They live to fight another day.
Yeah, that was such a huge individual play from Hardzow. As sort of mentioned, they've consistently tried to switch things up, and he's been in the same spot almost every single round. He was sat down below, waiting for the Battle of Marky. He uses his initiative this time, does a ridiculous amount of damage, and manages to get 4 kills alongside it. And Extra Salt, no, this is it. You don't want to allow this to go to overtime. There's been so many ups and downs throughout this series, going back and forth all the way, be it the first 2 maps going the way of Extra Salt. They were not easy. They were hard fought. And so given an opportunity at series and tournament point They do not want to allow this to hit overtime.
Nekis on your screen there, supreme confidence, but a situation like this would shake anybody's feelings towards their winning potential, especially considering how topsy-turvy, how much of a roller coaster this game has been throughout. 16-13, 16-12 have been the previous two scorelines, both of them on a razor's edge, and this has somehow been even closer. And it may not be done just yet, but paiN is pushing into underpass, a early setup that we haven't seen too often from Extra Salt. This is more of a default, more of a classic A hit, and Biggest Error has already been wrecked down, but there's the peek from Safe. That aggression is going to yield so much.
An important, well, almost trade. I guess it wasn't really. The flashbang is good to give some space, but Nekis is going to drop Sonic. There was no real opportunity there to find anything back. He needed to try and be a hero and fails. It leaves two players down and out already. EKO in an aggressive position as well. Is JT going to expect this? He's been caught off a fair few times throughout this map. This battle could be everything and he wins it. That opens up the B site. There's a rotation coming from Hardza, but he opts to just try and hold the cross. Realizing the chances, he needs to try and play this as a retake, but actually opts to try and get close to the smoke. JT also lurking around the edge. He should just wait for his teammates, and by the looks of it, he will.
Biggest Error is the player coming through apps. The problem is he's only got 5 HP to his name, and OC's already finished off Hard Shout. Now the smokes are starting to fade, starting to clear. Marquis hops up. The timing does favor Biggest Error. He was not spotted. Do they go back in and look again? This is where they need Nekis to have some impact, but he's missed, and OC can spin around in time. It comes down to Safe, 1 on 2, misses the first shot, misses the second, and Extra Salt are gonna clean sweep the grand finals, 3-0.
Yeah, the scoreline may be a little bit misleading, a 3-0 in the finals, but the fact is they've had to grind for it. They lost 10 rounds in a row on this map, but still managed to show resilience. The man on your screen, paiN, definitely one